When I was in university, the ultimate goal for me was ultimately to get the best grades possible. For me, everything during my time in university revolved around trying to get A's and every semester trying to get as close to a 4.0 as possible. Like everything revolved around this, even like how much I partied, how late I would stay out. It all depended on what my workload was like the next day, the next few days. During midterms and finals, didn't go out as much. Beginning of semesters, a lot more. Same thing with friends. Whenever the time came to really buckle down for an upcoming exam or a deadline, I would even go to a different library than the ones my friends were at so that I could properly study and properly focus on, again, trying to get the best grades possible. This was my ultimate goal during university. When university ended, I no longer had this ultimate goal. Grades weren't in the picture anymore. And what this meant on a broader level was that I no longer had this centerpiece, if you will, for my time, for my energy. Ultimately, I no longer had this centerpiece for my life. When grades were removed from the picture, when chasing grades was removed from the picture, I lost arguably the biggest motivator, the biggest incentive that I had really ever had. It might sound over the top, but think about it. For someone who's been in school their whole lives, who's been writing exams and essays their whole lives, who's been trying in school their whole lives, think about it. What's been a bigger source of tangible motivation than trying to get good grades? And when this particular motivator is gone, so when one finishes school, finishes university, what becomes the next main tangible source of motivation? What becomes the next ultimate goal? It wasn't until I discovered what my ultimate goal was that I realized why such a big reason why I was lost and confused and depressed and ultimately ungrounded after university was because I was missing the centerpiece that grades and chasing grades had given me. They were, in a way, my rock, and my life orbited around them. It wasn't until I discovered what my ultimate goal was. It's simple. My ultimate goal is to become a father. When I discovered that all I really want in life is to become a father, I kid you not, my life just got put in perspective. My life just made sense, and the confusion and the instability and all that just decreased hella drastically. Everything now is centered around the goal of being the best possible father for my future kids. Things like pursuing the right career are now based on being able to provide for my future kids, to being able to have a work-life balance and to be present in their lives, to be able to have a career that I truly enjoy and that fulfills me on a psychological level so that I don't become that bitter and frustrated and resentful with the world individual who risks projecting it all onto his kids. I don't want to be that father. So I'm working hella hard right now to create the right career. Finding the right partner, it goes without saying for me that it's not going to be just daddy that's in the picture. Finding the right partner in crime with whom to raise a family excites me so much, terrifies me, but yeah, also excites me very much. So, to my future partner in crime, get excited. Even making these videos, there are multiple motivators for me making these videos. Some were there from the beginning, some of them changed, some new ones have come about, but the most powerful motivator for getting these done is to one day show my kids. Actually, to show them daddy's attempts to be creative, to step out of his comfort zone, to push through and do something that he wanted to do, not because someone told him to do it, but because he, daddy, wanted to do it. Arguably, the greatest gift that I want to give to my kids is the gift of passion. All I want is to play a part in instilling passion in them from a young age, to create a space where they feel comfortable exploring their passions, where they're not afraid to act on their passions. My biggest passion to date has been to make a YouTube series, to make videos to put on YouTube. Pretty specific, but hey, that's what my passion is right now. To be able to not only tell my kids to go after their passions, but to be able to show them my passions and an actual product that came from my passions, being these videos, to me that's just like one of the greatest things I can give them. To be able to give them the mindset of, I want to go do that. That's my passion. How do I know I can do that? Well, because my daddy realizes passion, and if he can do it, I can do it. That mindset for them just excites me so much. And I want them to be passionate about all kinds of other things too. I want them to be passionate about their friends, their lovers, their clothing style, their favorite artists, their favorite sports teams. And having said that, the only hard rule will be that there will be absolutely zero tolerance for passion for any other baseball team in the AL East. I'm sorry, but there will be absolutely zero tolerance for a Yankee or a Red Sox fan in a Toronto Blue Jays household. Sorry, not sorry. This ultimate goal also includes giving them absolutely every possible opportunity that my future wife and I can. I have watched my mom cry in front of me because she felt like she couldn't give me the same type of opportunities that other kids' parents could. Like I said before, her and my dad came to Canada without knowing anyone, without knowing any English or French, and with only $120 and suitcases. They came here with nothing. And yet, they pulled it off. They raised a kid who has a BA and an MA who, at the end of the day, turned out decently alright. They did all of that with $120 in suitcases. I am so excited to watch how far my kids will go because of the opportunities given to them by a second generation Canadian parent. And I also can't wait to be so unapologetically hungry for my kids. I can't wait to do absolutely whatever it takes to be there for them. The last thing that I want to mention in terms of what this ultimate goal includes is that my ultimate goal of being the best possible future father includes placing a top priority on my mental health. If I am secure up here, if I have a good relationship with the person up here, I truly believe it will make all the difference in how I go about not only raising my kids, but the type of relationships that I will have with them throughout the various stages of their lives. I yearn to have deep connections with my kids, to have them feel comfortable to open up to me, to open up to themselves. I am not naive enough to believe that my kids will not experience hard times in their lives. Of course, I don't want that for them, but hey, it's inevitable. That's life. All this work that I put into my mental health, into developing an awareness of my mental health, of mental health in general, all this work will benefit them. There is no doubt about it. I just can't, and I won't, become that parent who takes his shit out, who projects his shit onto his children. I won't. Becoming the best possible parent, that's the ultimate goal. I can't wait for that day. Kendrick Lamar, in his interview with Nardwuar back in 2012, was telling the story of how when his parents were bringing him home from the hospital after he was born, his dad was playing Big Daddy Kane really loud in the car, and his mom told him to turn it down, and he was like, no, he needs to hear this. It's music, and it's good music. And you can bet that on the drive home with my kid, no matter what mom is saying, you can bet, dead serious when I say this, that Backseat Freestyle will be playing because it's good music that they need to hear. And then when they're older, you can tell them that on the way home from the hospital, they were in the back seat listening to Backseat Freestyle. Whether boy or girl, doesn't matter. As long as they're healthy. But a part of me is really into the thought of having a baby girl. I am into the challenge of trying to say no to my little princess. I'm into having mommy upset at me because I caved and got my little princess that one pair of sunglasses from that one vintage store that she loves. And I can't wait for her to be a little shit and watch this video one day and use what I just said as ammo for me to go buy her that one pair of sunglasses from that one vintage store. I also just can't wait for her to be just the realest, most badass, strong-headed, level-headed woman possible. Like DW from Arthur, level real. Just straight up Dora Winifred Reed. In university, it was grades. It was the drive and the push to get good grades. after university, there wasn't really anything there. There was a void. That void has now been filled, if you will. The ultimate goal is now to drive and to push to be the best possible father when my time comes. I have identified my anchor. My mental health has an anchor. It's beautiful. When I finished university, I struggled. I struggled a lot to the point where the post-university transition, coupled with all this stuff from my past that was coming up to the surface, resulted in me eventually being diagnosed with depression. I am no longer depressed. And while I do, just like the next person, while I do have my own set of mental health struggles, I have also, over time, developed my own personal toolbox for coping with them. The greatest addition to my personal toolbox that has not only benefited and will continue to benefit my mental health, but that has also given my life a type of perspective unlike any I have ever experienced. The greatest addition is the goal of one day being a dad.